insist he is a charismatic leader, he is a good person. He will continue to deny his crimes, he will continue to buy his books, to listen to his music, and to be brought into his cult via his art. We say this simply doesn't happen with people of other professions who aren't artists. We say the huge influence that comes from the crimes they commit, which is perpetuated through their art and through their position as a public figure, is incredibly harmful. We're incredibly proud to be standing on the side of opposition. On Martin today, we bring a case of two things. Firstly, that condemning art is the same as condoning the artist. Secondly, that consumption marginalizes and traumatizes victims. And thirdly, on ending exceptional treatment of artists. We have two criteria that we're going to prove today on Team Ireland in order to win the debate. Firstly, the position of the artist in society justifies this. And secondly, the consequences of this art being widely consumed also justify this. When we do this under the team line, we should end the horrific influence that immoral artists have on ourselves and on others. So before we get into our substantive, let's look at the model we bring on tomorrow. So firstly, we'd say that we recognise that morality is sometimes subjective. What we say is that it's also sometimes objective. Some examples we have of this would be things like murder, like sexual assault, like child molestation. So those things are objectively immoral. But what this debate in fact isn't about what is moral and what's moral. What it's about is how we should act when we feel that something is immoral. When someone as an individual feels that something an artist has done is immoral and is something which they shouldn't support. We say that we have on tomorrow we have a wide conception of art that would include things like music, books, films, and paintings, but we say that explicitly it wouldn't contain things like historical documents. We think those are useful for things like academic study. We say that's a different approach. We also recognise that this debate happens on two levels. So firstly, in terms of individuals who just decide for themselves that they don't want to support an artist, but secondly, on a broader level, society is a collection of individuals. We say that an individual in doing this would probably be doing so with the hope that other individuals will do it as well to create broader societal benefits. And thank you, much like the principles of things like vegetarianism are based on a wider scale. So, moving on to Team Ireland's first point. So we say there's something incredibly powerful about art that makes it different from almost anything else. We say art is inherently an emotional product, that someone puts a piece of themselves into everything they create in terms of art. You see, in order to create art, in order to be creative, artists have to draw on their lived experience. They have to draw on their own emotions. They have to show or portray what they've been through, even if not explicitly, in some way that is something which comes through an art, as it is an expressive thing to do. We say this is especially true in things in a second, such as books, such as films, such as music, where things the artist has gone through are often explicitly recognised in their art, such as the example of Charles Manson that we talked about earlier.
So by not consuming the art, the act itself has never happened?
No, the act always has happened. The way in which we compensate for that act having happened in some small way is through the criminal justice system. We think sometimes that fails, we think sometimes that isn't enough, especially when artists have such a large influence on society. I think this is just another step on top of that. We're not pretending that it gets rid of the act that was done in the first place. But even in some cases where the act they committed isn't explicitly in their art, we say it's still an aspect of that art. The emotional nature of art and creativity remains. Because people, by consuming art, connect emotionally with the person who produced that art. By reading a book, you connect with the author. By listening to a song, you connect with the person who wrote that song and the things that they've been through. You say, no thank you, that this means you empathize with that person. No thank you. We see this becoming, we see evidence of this when we have glorification of artists in modern times. Where people connect, no thank you, with the person who wrote their favourite book, even though they don't know them as a person. It's the same thing here. Where people feel like they know that person. Where like massive fan bases grow, where they idolize that person, and they're able to get around anything negative that they may Even when that's not true, however, no thank you, any sort of emotional connection is bad and has bad what are these? So firstly, we reduce the perception, apparently, of the severity of those crimes. Because when you have that emotional connection, it's far easier for you to make excuses of what that person did, or to ignore the immoral acts they did. Secondly, you don't see the full picture. You only see one side of the story. You only see the artist side of the story. You don't see the side of the victim in that case. It's hard to develop a full understanding of what happened. We say, in conclusion to this point, that principally condoning art is the same as condoning the artist, and that creates an emotional connection, which is incredibly hard to do. So on to the second point of King Ireland's case, around how this harms victims. I think victims are incredibly important in this case. There are two types of victims that we'd like to look at. So firstly, the particular victim of the artist who committed that crime. We say this person is incredibly harmed when that art is consumed on a large scale around. When the influence of that person is built up without it being questioned, when they have an influence on the culture of the place where they live, as we talked about in our first point. We say that that's incredibly damaging to their lives, especially when the side of their story isn't heard and they have no way to retaliate against the narrative that's being spun by the person who committed that act against them. The example we bring here in a second of one that no one believed Woody Allen's stepdaughter when she makes allegations that he was raped by her, because they connect with his movies. Because they say, oh, he couldn't possibly have done that. He makes those lovely, soppy rom.
But what you're wrong is that an artist, a well-known artist, will never admit that he raped a little kid. So that is why he will never write a song of how he raped a innocent child.
We say people often do explicitly refer to the immoral acts they have done. We brought you the example of Charles Manson. We think that is something that happens. But we told you in our first point that even if what they did isn't explicitly recognized in their music, the emotional connection that someone makes with that artist is incredibly damaging and changes the perceptions of those crimes in a way that we will not stand by on tomorrow. Because if the lived experiences of victims are diminished when what the artist is saying has such an influence on the rest of society. So how does this impact victims in general? We say perceptions of that crime in general change hugely. It's not seen as such a bad or such an important thing when the artist is still talking about it and people still idolize that artist. Necessarily, that art seems more important than that victim. We think this means that victims are less likely to come out. It is especially true in cases of things like sexual assault that are already incredibly stigmatized. That becomes far worse when that sort of thing doesn't seem important because people idolize a person who has done that to you or has done that to somebody else. Ladies and gentlemen, because we should end the horrific influence that immoral artists have on ourselves and on others, today on Team Ireland, I'm incredibly proud.
Team Ireland stood here and said that ignorance is bliss, ladies and gentlemen. We believe that ignorance leads to manipulation and recklessness. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The motion before us today is this House will not consume art created by people who have committed deeply immoral acts. Before continuing with our case relating to the arguments, the teachings of art, the mystical target, and what does art represent, we would like to clarify something that Team Ireland failed to propose. To start with the definitions of this model. They never specified what would be a deeply immoral act, so therefore we will assume that any crime would be a deeply immoral act. Then they never specified which mechanism they would put in place in order to stop this consumption of art. They just stated that people would stop consuming this art and it would disappear out of the blue. We need to see a mechanism in which Team Ireland will enforce the policy they just suggested. And we have heard nothing, ladies and gentlemen. So having clarified that, I will continue on with the refutations of the cases they have presented thus far. Thank you. We can see that they stated that we will ban art that does not have any historical content. We would like to ask them why they will not ban that, and we will answer that with the very arguments. Okay? They never stated what is or who will determine if that art is in fact a historical content. There are many questions that need to be answered, and we require the second speaker to please develop this case more. Further on, they never specified what in fact is consuming the art, or against consuming the art means either listening to the music, purchasing the piece of work, or actually even observing it in a museum. Therefore, what they are suggesting is to basically eradicate this art from the face of the earth. And we want a mechanism to propose to thinking in order for them to suggest how they would do this. Now let's go to the first substantive point they had. They said that people would connect with this criminal. We agree with that, stating that maybe there's a possibility that they might connect. But that connection is not necessarily empathy, ladies and gentlemen. People might connect with that person by hating that person and therefore taking action against that person. We have seen no analysis on their case. We have seen no evidence why they emphasize with this person. And we actually provide examples of why I think that is not the case. So therefore, in the rare case, there might be a very deep connection with this criminal. We can see that does not necessarily mean there will be empathy, and that does not necessarily mean that people will actually defend this person. In fact, they might even hate that person for committing these crimes and not listen to the reason by themselves. But they should have the choice to do so. Thank you. And then we will also state that if you want, the objective is to condone the artist for this painting, then why not condone them by saying them to prison, ladies and gentlemen? Not banning the song is not the proper way to condone someone, to penalize them for the acts they committed. No, thank you. It makes no sense to penalize them in this way. So moving on to the second point, a point about the perspectives of a crime and how people will think that that person is innocent by listening to that music. You can see that this is not necessarily a case, and in fact, it's not the case. That person will still be in jail, ladies and gentlemen, and that person will not be perceived as innocent. Let's see a case study of this, about something they specifically mentioned. They mentioned in the case of sexual assault, but this would especially not happen. It's the case of Bill Cosby. He's a very famous artist, and he is currently being accused of sexually assaulting many women. And therefore, there's a fan base that was created in order to attack that person and to send him to jail for the crimes he committed, ladies and gentlemen. We can see that in fact people have turned on him, on the artist himself, for actually committing these crimes. So therefore, the music has helped promote his image, and therefore when that crime came out, that person was in fact even more penalized, and there's a huge no thank you, there's a huge lobby in order to penalize that author. You can see that this is not necessarily the case with empathy, in the case the Cosby is actually going on right now. And in fact, you can see that the victims, the other type of victims they mentioned, they do not want to forget this crime if it happened. They want people to know it happened and to act against this crime. People want things to change and they want things to act. They just don't want to be forgotten. The victims don't want to be forgotten. They want to be listened to and they want to be represented in order to do this, we to promote this sort of arts. Let's move, having clarified that, please do.
Our analysis is that the connection comes from how you can see the artist through the lens of the work of art awareness. Where do you think that connection comes from?
I think that connection, the hate connection that I just specified in the case of Bill Cosby, comes from when they see the music and then they hear that that person actually committed a crime, they will start hating that person. And therefore they will start actually acting against that person. So we can see that the music itself has nothing to do with people emphasizing or people defending the criminal. It makes no sense. People are not so ignorant, ladies and gentlemen. To give the information out, the people will see that that person is in fact a criminal and will stand by the victims and defend them, ladies and gentlemen. So let's move on to a substantive case related to the first argument about the teachings of art. You can see that unfortunately history repeats itself. There are countless wars, crises, and exploitation of people. There's three kinds of people in this world. Those who make mistakes and don't learn from them. Those who make mistakes and learn from them. And those who are wise enough to observe the mistakes other people make and learn from them. By removing this art, you're removing the possibility for a wise person to see the mistake someone else did and act on it. Wise is the case. You can see that by erasing the art, you're erasing every single footprint that person left on the earth, unless it's historical context, which we have never seen the case. And by removing that, you're basically saying, thank you, that we should ignore this person ever existed, ladies and gentlemen. We should forget that this crime ever happened. If we erase this content from society, you can see that we will not learn the lesson of history. We will not act upon it. We will not change. We will continue on to repeat the same fault. We continue to fall on the same rock, ladies and gentlemen. We do not want to do this. And let's see the victims. What do they think? You can see that the victims of genocides, the Armenian genocide, they continue to remember that there was a genocide 100 years ago, this very year. We can see that there are monuments being built in order to remember what happened. You can see that it's a crime to deny the Holocaust. They're basically saying, let's remove all art, whatever, from Hitler, and therefore forget this ever happened. No, ladies and gentlemen, it's a crime to do it. This is a way of denying that these crimes ever happened and removing this footprint from societies. We can see that to be ignorant of the past is to remain a child. To be ignorant, ladies and gentlemen. We do not want to forget this. We believe that this is something that must be remembered and something that must be acted upon, as we can see. For those reasons, this motion is not detrimental. And the proposition is not proving the burden of case. The burden of proof, sorry. Moving on to our second systematic point. You can see that they're missing the target. The art in itself is not a crime. A painting of a farm does not promote the image of a crime. It does not promote the image of rape, ladies and gentlemen. The painting is just a painting. It does not promote the image. And if it were to promote the image, it would raise information and people would be aware of the fact that actually there was a crime that was committed. So either way, it would be beneficial to society. So let's see what Team Proposition had to prove in order to win this debate according to themselves. They need to prove that this policy would alleviate the crime cost. They need to prove it would send a positive message to society, and they need to prove there would be no damage to the history or to the culture of the people that were impacted. And we can see they haven't proven any of these burdens, and for those reasons, they have not won this debate. And for those reasons, we believe that it's the worst kind of blind is the blood who does not want to see. But it's even worse to not let someone else see, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, did you take this case? We stood with the victim of this case. We recognize the exceptional influence which artists have necessitates us to take individual moral action. The same case represented by the case, and the case represented the nature of the state. This wasn't necessarily a state policy, rather an individual decision which you would make, much like the individual decision of a vegetarian, for instance, and you would like if other people made that decision not to consume that much. That was their first misunderstanding. To protect these victims, I think we need to take this action. Because their suffering is magnified when they're apologists for the people who committed these crimes. When that person is still very much loved for the art that they created, they're very much liked for the art that they created, and society doesn't condemn those people. You don't condemn those people. Even if you don't get a fall in consumption, we think there is sufficient in place for the proposition to prove that this is just something that you don't want to be part in as a social movement. Tomorrow, much of the case makes three points. Firstly, condoning art is the same as condoning artists. Secondly, no thank you, consumption marginalizes and traumatizes victims. And thirdly, what I'm going to do in my speech, ending exceptional treatment, ending the exceptional treatment of artists. We want you two criteria in today's debate, which one is treatment. Firstly, the position of artists justifies this criteria upon which we receive engagement. And secondly, the consequences of this art being widely consumed justifies this. The consequences being represented by the last option. We did so under the team line. We should end the horrific influence that immoral artists have on ourselves and others. So there were a number of points that they didn't respond to in that last speech. They didn't respond to our examples by Charles Manson and Woody Allen and the specific ways that those examples played out in the real world. Instead, inserting some examples of the Holocaust and then the genocide ones which we're going to deal with more later on. So thank you. There was no response to our point around large fan bases and how that can make a difference. No response to how you only get one side of the story because the person who committed that crime is in such a valuable or in such a prominent position. There was no response to how victims find it incredibly difficult to come out when the person that they are accusing is someone who is much loved, they're afraid that they're going to be accused of lying, which happens in an awful lot of instances, especially with regards to sexual assault. You think because they're not responding to these points, they don't understand, they aren't recognizing, I'll take you in a second, the nuances of our case. They aren't recognizing the specific reasons why we think it's good if we condemn this art and if individually we refuse to consume it. Yeah.
Appreciating art is not appreciating a person.
We think that in an awful lot of instances, especially in terms of the practical victims, it is. Because when you appreciate that art is a hugely emotional expression of that person's personality. People feel like they have an emotional connection to that person. We gave you analysis about that aspect of art, analysis which got no response from that last speaker. So they're not responding to our analysis like the principle or the practical implications that this would have. But let's see what they did Because they said that we didn't define what is evil and moral. Again, this isn't a state policy. We think that is often up to individuals to decide what they think is evil and moral. We gave you a number of examples of sexual assault, murder, and child molestation. They said we have to prove that consumption falls. We don't think that's necessarily the case. We think that when you make the decision not to consume this art, consumption necessarily does fall. But we think that just saying that you don't want to be part of that movement is enough. We think also that the emotional expression, they said an emotional connection that you could have wouldn't necessarily have to be sympathy. It could be hatred. A good way to express that hatred might be not to consume that art, not to condone that person in that way, and to give validation to that person in that way. We say that in an awful lot of people, instances, they're not perceived as innocent. We don't think that's necessarily true. They gave you the example of Bill Cosby and the political movement which arose around when he was being prosecuted. We say that one of the main demands of that political movement was that people stop consuming his art because they recognized the nuances which we're bringing you in this proposition case today. But what did they talk about? So in their own case, they say that you see this mistake that another person has made and you learn. We think that there is still a conversation in society we're talking about the types of crimes that happen. We condemn those crimes. We also think that it's okay for victims to make art, to consume that, to speak out. It's easier when they don't face the possibility of condemnation because the person they're coming out against is someone who's much loved. Then they say that art itself is not a crime. That's true, which is why we're not making it criminally punishable to punish this art. No, thank you. That personally, you should make the decision to consume it. So at the end of Rebuttal, this is a proposition which misunderstands the nuances of what we're talking about. It misunderstands that this is a state policy rather than an individual decision, and it is one which misunderstands how victims suffer in a very real way on their side of the house. So on to the third point of the case, about ending the exceptional treatment of celebrities and the happens when the state's world and on the opposition side. On our side of the house, by making the decision to opt out of the consumption of art created by those who commit heinous, deeply moral acts, we ensure a more just treatment of celebrities who commit these acts, or at least in our individual decisions, we make a more just decision would be made if you chose to consume that art. We say that when a crime is committed, that person is appropriately punished by the criminal justice system. But also it's necessary for that act to be condemned in the eyes of that society, and we think that the nature of the influence these artists often have makes that incredibly difficult for a state to do. We say is that people in society to protect victims, to stop those crimes happening in the future in an awful lot of instances, should aim to exploit this influence in a number of ways. We say one way that influence often plays out is through a cult of personality, because people have an emotional connection with art, they feel they have an emotional connection with the person who created that. We see that with the example of people screaming outside concerts when their favorite band comes into the arena. Because they have that emotional connection to the art that they create, they have an emotional connection to those people. People predisposed to certain ideologies, apologists for certain crimes, are strengthened by widespread consumption of art which is made by certain people. We look at the example of Richard Wagner and how neo-Nazis use his music as a banner to fly over themselves. The way that becomes incredibly strong is because if that music enjoys mainstream success. That's where the power comes from. That's where the harm for victims particularly comes from, because as well as the neo-Nazis who are using it, normal people are listening to it and like it. But we also bring in examples of teachers and doctors. We say that if they're convicted of any of the crimes we're talking about, they can't practice as teachers and they can't practice as doctors. They can't derive any of the happiness which they normally would from those jobs, and we think that's just. We don't think that's the same case for a celebrity or someone who produces art, because the way that they're viewed and the way that their crime is viewed means that they have long-term influence. They can continue to derive happiness from the art they create. They can continue to have prominence within that society. Because the consumption of art turns victims, and because we don't want to be a part of that as individuals rather than as states, we want to opt out incredibly hard.
Proposition would rather condone the art of an artist who has instead of sending them to jail. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I will continue the three-layered analysis from Team Opposition with a third argument, me it being art as a representation of an artist. But before I do so, I'd like to start by refuting the statistics from Team Proposition, then posing some questions for them to answer, and then rebuilding our case, and then move on to my third segment. So now, what do we see within this representation? What we're seeing is that on side proposition, they state that the side of the victim is not being told. But sorry to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the art is already accepting that this crime has been committed. Therefore, the victim is already the side of the victim is easier to be represented. It is easier for him or her to go to the media and tell his side. When they also say that accusing the artist of what has happened will be complicated because he has such a support, because he's supported, and they'll just say he's lying. But yet again, what we see is that this art is a clear it's a clear evidence. It's evidence of what has happened. It's evidence that this artist has raped, that this artist has killed someone. So what we see as if this point of being accused of lying also falls. So now what we're seeing is that another substantive that they posed here today is that the connection that people have with this artist will always be positive. Well, I have two refutations for this. First of all, this is a blind assumption in fact in Opposition. They presented no analysis, no thinking on this. They just said that this connection would be positive. And on the second refutation, we would like to say, we would like to remind people is that this connection can also be negative. A great movement of people can start to go against this artist, to go against what he stands for now, what he did, his actions, and what he committed. Now, moving on, I'd like to pose some questions to Proposition for them to answer in their second speech. So now, first of all, who determines which is historical context in arts? Therefore, we do not see what they say. We do not have this clear. And the second question is, how does the art damage people? Isn't it the act of the artist the one that damages the people? We want this to be answered by the third speaker. Now I'd like to move on by the rebuilding of our case. What we said in teaching of art is that the art has value. It is valuable because it teaches, it teaches the population about what happened and what we have to avoid from happening. And that is why it is valuable. And again, what we see in our second argument is missing the target. What we see is that Team Proposition is not focusing on the real thing that should be happening. That artist should be committed for his crime. Not his art should be stopped consumed. Because it's easy for that artist to sit in his Hamptons house drinking water and sunbathing while he's still free for committing a crime, for killing a person. And just, my song is not being heard by the general public. Yes, please.
We told you that we would also want these artists to be punished criminally for what they've done. This is an extra layer because they have so much influence in the wider society.
So what we say, so the answer to this POI is my third argument. The value of art. What we clearly see is that art is the most valuable expression of one's freedom. What we see is that an immoral act does not alter the value or the quality of art. But even if it does value, it does not justify the stopping of this consumption. Why? Because through this, we can see what has happened and the negative effects and learn from them to avoid that from happening. And so what we can see is that art may or may not represent the person that has committed the art, or the act. So what we say is, if it does, it has historical value. For why? Because of the examples we have presented to you. We have presented that, for example, the painting of Hitler, of an orange and in a field, has value. And if expression of the artist and not as of the act. The act is not being expressed. So now what we say is, why is it important to ban this? The hurtful action is not the act, the art being present in society. The hurtful action is what the artist has committed while he kills someone. So what we're saying is that limiting the valuable expression of an artist is it does not have so limiting this does not have an impact on society. We're just hiding the fact of what occurred. We're just hiding the fact that person killed someone. We are hiding this from society. So and this banning does not have an impact, does not send a message to society. What we also say is, so we are limiting something extremely valuable. For the example of a historical document or something extremely valuable and with no tangible results. We have, the limitation, the consumption of the song does not bring tangible benefits for society. So why would we ban it? Why would we be banning this, ladies and gentlemen? We want side opposition proposition to answer this question. No, thank you, sir. So what we're seeing what we're seeing here is the failure to understand that art is not that this piece of art is not what is wrong. What is wrong is the act committed. So now I'd like to accept the point of information if the proposition has been.
Many clear clarification. We are banning the piece of art. We say people should make the individual choice.
Okay, I understand. The condoning is, so if we're condoning the art, it's just the same thing. We're just saying, I'll condone the consumption. It's stopping the consumption of the art, as it would be. So now, because of our three main arguments, how they show that proposition was unable to sustain the burden of proof, which was that this banning will alleviate the act committed, would send a positive message to society, and would not damage history or culture. That is why we strongly believe that this motion should and must fall. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, ladies and gentlemen, the victims of Charles Manson never got to publish their books. Their side of the story is never heard. Instead, their murderer becomes a celebrity, a person who captures the public imagination, a person described by some as charismatic, described by others as a controversial figure. We don't think that's acceptable. But moreover, even in the cases where they do, even in the cases where people like Woody Allen's stepdaughter gets an op-ed in the back page of the New York Times, she is vilified, mocked, publicly condemned because of the power that her rapist has within society. Because of the influence that person has, the unique influence that Woody Allen has because of their art. Because people watch a diabetically sweet film like Annie Hall and come to associate Woody Allen with that film. When they think of him, they remember how they felt when they watched that couple get together and how lovely it was. We don't think that's acceptable. But moreover, we think that their Bill Cosby example was misleading. Because there are two groups who are relevant to this debate in that Bill Cosby affair. First of all, the groups they mentioned who actually want his groups of art, read his works of art and his comedy shows taken off the air, who protest Fox for showing them. But secondly, people who think of him as America's grandfather, people who watched Bill Cosby when they were young, people who grew up with him and think that kind of person couldn't possibly rape all of these women. That's the concrete harm of allowing these works of art to disseminate that exists on their side of the house. That's the concrete harm they were looking for. 2 points in this debate, or in this speech. First of all, individuals. Second of all, victims. But first, we got two relatively superfluous questions from the last speaker. First of all, who determines what's historical content? Again, this is a decision made by an individual. If the individual determines that something is historical content and should be read for reasons of historical value, they are welcome to do so. If they think there is a historical value to Hitler's watercolours, in terms of gaining an insight into why somebody would order the deaths of that many people, they are welcome to do so. We think that if we would do so, this motion is a about whether those watercolors should be considered as works of art. We think that's pretty clear. Second question is, they asked us how art damages people. That's our case. But moreover, even if it doesn't cause all of the damage that we gave you, which was never adequately responded to in your test, even if it doesn't cause all of that damage, we think that for principled reasons, because we don't want to feel that kind of connection with this kind of human being, because we don't want to associate, to think of Bill Cosby as our grandfather when he's raped so many people, but we don't think that we should consume his art anyway.
Therefore, you believe, and the whole case is based on, people should be able to do whatever they want, and if they want to see Bill Cosby as a historical figure of America's grandfather, then they should do so, and they should watch his comedy shows.
So, the notion is this House would not consume works of art created by people who have committed deeply immoral acts, right? That means that this House would not watch Bill Cosby as America's grandfather. If in the year 2200, Bill Cosby as America's grandfather becomes extremely historically valuable for some ridiculous reason, what we're saying is that we don't think that would come into the calculus. The point of that is that Bill Cosby belongs maybe in a museum, maybe in a hypothetical scenario, and Hitler's watercolors belong maybe in a museum somewhere, but entirely as, here's the kind of person who would commit this kind of act. Not in the sense of consuming the art, not in the sense of imagining somebody's American's grandfather. We think that's perfectly clear. We think this debate is about things like Charles Manson's songs. We think this debate is about things like whether we want to watch Bill Cosby as America's grandfather if it comes up on Fox News. We don't think this debate is about the context of museums. So first of all, individuals. Because first of all, they said that people read the art and feel hatred. So this is the clash. There's a point of clash here about connections, where we said that people feel a connection with American. They associate with American, they said actually the connections. First of all, they largely asserted this and just provided an example that when we gave them more information on, they dropped. So we haven't heard about Bill Cosby since the first live speech for that reason. But moreover, we gave you analysis that they never disputed. They never disputed the logic of art involves channeling one's personal experience. You associate the people with the art when you think of them, with the characters, with how they made you feel, and that colours your view of that person. That doesn't mean immediately that the nuance is important here, and they didn't understand that inside Opposition like you. That doesn't mean that immediately you think, I like watching Bill Cosby, he must have raped those people. But it means that your view of him is colored. It means that it contributes to an attitude towards Bill Cosby, which for some people does mean that, but for others means that you take the victims less seriously, and to all of them, on a societal level, it is massively harmful. But that collection alone skews how we view it. But moreover, we say, and this is completely unrelated, by the way, if we imagine that Bill Cosby's raping people have no influence on his being America's grandfather, that they're completely detached from one another, we think that still means that we win this debate, because the connection is on our side. Because the way we connect with that work of art means that we view them differently. We think that it doesn't even matter whether or not Bill Cosby's comedy shows is influenced by this. But we say that it is. We say that it is anyway. Because art involves channeling one's personal experiences and producing something with them. And when the person's personal experiences involves committing a heinous crime, invariably, whether directly as in Charles Manson's songs and books, or indirectly, as can often be the case, in unmeasurable, unquantifiable ways sometimes, in very subtle ones to do with characters, how they act, how they feel, and so on, in the kind of humour that there is in Bill Cosby's works. We think that that can be very clear. They never disputed that attitude. So secondly now, victims. Because we say firstly, they never engaged properly with the practical impact of this that we gave them on our side of the house, which is that in many cases people like Woody Allen simply aren't convicted of these crimes because of the influence they have, because of the social standing and the power in society that they have, because their works of art are available instantly on Netflix and in other places. We think they never adequately engaged with that. Secondly, to do with triggering, because we think that often victims, often people like Woody Allen's stepdaughter, don't want to see their rapists or the people who committed crimes against their family, maybe the brothers of people murdered by Charles Manson, don't want to see that person in the public eye, don't want to be reminded daily of the crimes that were committed against them. But moreover, people who weren't directly affected by that crime, victims of domestic abuse who see someone listening to Chris Brown on a bus next to them, who obviously abused his wife, and think and remember what happened to them. We don't think that that's something we think that's something which they didn't adequately engage with. We think that's a major harm which happens on our side of the house, or on their side of the house, and not ours. But moreover, we told them the victims are less likely to come out and say that they have been abused by these people. See again, their example of Blake Cosby. It took years before any of the now 14 victims of sexual assault from Bill Cosby came out. It took one of them coming out for all 14, but these are 10 years, 15 years before this sort of stuff happens. When people have the kind of power that they have in their side of the house, none of those victims come forward. But finally, they wanted to talk about how we can learn from the mistakes of these people and so on. We say that firstly, it's far easier for victims to make art on our side of the house. It's far easier for Woody Allen's stepdaughter to write about her experience because she isn't pressured, because she isn't vilified for doing so. But moreover, we don't understand why victims want their crimes remembered who their perpetrators are and not theirs. We don't think it's fair that the only side of the story that gets heard is the offender's side of the story. We don't think that's fair. We don't think people should have that kind of power. We think that we should end the horrific influence that immoral artists have on ourselves and on the people around us. We beg to propose.
The side proposition stands here and assumes that every one of us would view Charles Manson as a good person because we like his songs. So we don't believe a person's ideals can be drawn away as such propositions tell us. We believe a person's ideals stand firm. This house would not consume art created by people who have committed the deeply immoral act. So let's start by seeing what side proposition had to do today in order to win this debate. They have to show us that by banning this would actually transmit a positive message to society. Secondly, it would alleviate the act itself, which they have mainly talked about. And thirdly, it would not damage history and culture of society. So, we're here to tell you that they did not prove these 3 points, and I will show you why throughout my speech. So, let's start with certain clarifications that are necessary for this debate before moving on to the 3 main points of class. So, first of all, the proposition decided to take a quite convenient and unopposable position. What did they do in this position? They told us that the people, no thank you, the people should be able to do whatever they want. The people should be free to choose. Well, yes, actually this is convenient because we believe this as well. Of course that can't be opposed. We won't be standing here to tell you that people's freedoms should be limited. So, what proposition is done here today is manipulated the way of thinking. Manipulated each and every one of us into thinking that we should be removing their freedom, which we do not believe. So, secondly, clarifications. The proposition did not address the point of learning that we provided. The point in which we showed that these pieces of art not necessarily were interpreted as positive, which I will move on to explain why even though it's interpreted as positive, it is not worthy to be considered that this should not be appreciated. No, thank you. So, they did not tackle this point correctly, and we will show you why these teachings will be beneficial. What they simply said about this point was that, well, you know what, let's exclude textbooks, let's exclude things that will be taught in schools. We do not believe this is a correct position for the proposition to take. So, let's move on to the first point of clash, which is, my morality is not to be swayed. So, first of all, the proposition is telling us that because I listen to a song or appreciate a painting, I support the act itself, the criminal act that they are talking about. No, thank you. So what we are telling you on side opposition is that the act and the art are different. We have constantly told you this throughout our speeches, and we firmly stand by it. Now, why is this? We're going to provide you with 2 different cases. Case 1, where you actually do appreciate yourself, where you actually like this. This doesn't mean you're in favor of the act itself. These are 2 very different things. However much the artist or the creator himself is present in the art, this does not mean that I appreciate the creator when I appreciate his art. Because my morals aren't changed through a piece of art. So, second case, where you don't actually appreciate the art. This is, as my second speaker and first speaker has constantly said, forms an opposition. Forms a group in which this person is not appreciated, in which awareness is created for the things he has actually done. Therefore, in these 2 cases, we see why this, the fact that not appreciating or not consuming this art would not be beneficial. So, moving on with this point, the act itself is clearly known about it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be debating this motion. So, let's take into account an example. Let's say murder is committed by a singer, which is an example the proposition brought up. So, because I like his songs, because I like what he created, does not mean I support his act of murder. In no way at all. Why is this? Because we find this absolutely absurd. Because I'm not supporting murder. Because I have morals that cannot be swayed by a piece of art that I appreciate. Because I appreciate this art does not mean my morals are swayed by this person. Yes, please.
For the first time, your side engage with our intention in view an artist through the lens of their work of art and not the act that the artist is committed.
Okay, so what side proposition is telling us that because this artist created this piece, I simply stare at the artist and completely ignore his acts. But I actually know this person is a person. He has emotions, he does things. I know what he did. This act that he committed, this murder, this whatever it was, this crime, is not to be accepted by me just because because I like his art. We find this completely absurd from side proposition. So side proposition is telling us that simply because they appreciate the art, they appreciate the artist, irrelevant of whatever act he's committed. He can have committed murder, rape, but genocide, whatever it is, but because they like his art, they like this person. Now this is absolutely ridiculous, and we find this atrocious on side opposition. So, continue. If a person values the creator because of a piece of art, and this creator has created such and has committed such a crime, the problem is the person himself that is valuing the artist, not the piece of art. We believe the person is the problem here if he simply believes that the artist has committed is good because of his piece of art. So, moving on to the second point of the clash, which is, does the proposition solve the problem? So, we're here to tell you they don't. Why don't they? Because does not consuming the art destroy the creator's image? That's what the proposition is saying. We're here to tell you it isn't. That by not consuming this art, you're not destroying his image. So, is the art being consumed telling society that this creator was immoral? Absolutely not. People in society already know that what this person did was immoral, irrelevantly of the act itself, of the art itself, sorry. So, if a person is not well, there are now I'm going to talk about victims, which they constantly told us we did not address. Now, what's the problem here? If a creator or whatever person is legally condemned for whatever crime he or she did, the thing here is that people's view reflect this. People's view will take this into account. It is not simply that, well, yes, I like his art, I like this person. Once again, this person is defined by his act, not his art. So, continue. A person has to be able to correctly interpret a song or a painting, which is something the proposition has constantly ignored. A person is aware of the creator's act. A person knows what he or she did. No thank you. So this is a main thing we want to take into account. So, continue. The third point of clash, which is a narrow view. The proposition conveniently looked at only certain examples, such as Charles Manson, which, by the way, was refuted. No thank you. But let's take into account books and paintings, which is addressed to our argument of learning. So can these not teach, independently of whatever crime the creator has done? Can these pieces of art, of creation, not teach a person, even though the creator has committed murder? We believe this is incorrect. We believe that this can actually teach, this can actually lead to a person developing, no thank you, irrelevantly of the creator himself. So, what proposition simply said once again is, well, you know what, exclude textbooks. That's it. We believe on side opposition that pieces of art can teach whether or not the person has created a crime. So, the harms of eliminating such a piece of art is greater than just keeping it. Sorry, not eliminating, because side proposition was constantly telling us that this was a person's own choice. So let's say the harms of just not taking into account this piece of art is greater to society than just than appreciating it. So, art can teach and can be appreciated irrelevantly of the act itself. So through this point, our three main arguments, which were the teachings of art, missing the target, and finally the third layer of analysis, which talked about how these things are irrelevant from the creator himself, we have shown that the worst kind of mind is he who does not want to see, he who is not allowed to see either. So, for all these reasons, we believe this motion has fallen. Thank you very much.
Is bliss. On the side proposition, they are proposing to have an ignorant population that does not know what an artist has committed, what the crime he has committed. Good afternoon again, ladies and gentlemen. Throughout this debate, we have seen a team proposition and a team opposition clashing on several points. So now to sum up this debate, I'd like to pose questions, being, is this legitimate? Is this beneficial? And does this solve the problem? Now let's start with the first one. The condemning of the art is it beneficial? First of all, what we've seen on side opposition is that they want to stop this consumption just to destroy the art. But on side opposition, we've provided two answers for this. The first answer is that art can, by art being consumable, we can see how it also destroys the artist's image by creating a negative fan base, a negative reaction, and how that will condemn the artist itself with having the population have the liberty to enjoy the art. And the second one being that art may not promote the image of the artist. So we see that no, ladies and gentlemen, that it is not legitimate to condemn the consumption. And again, in a second, what we've also seen on side opposite proposition is that it is unfair to have only one side of this story to be told. But on side proposition, we pointed out that because this art was available, the people had the courage to come out and say, I was raped. And 19 other people say, I was victim of rape. People knew, and the two sides of the story were being told, ladies and gentlemen, just because the art was consumable and the art was open to interpretation. And by that interpretation, we saw the emotions of rape. And that is why, no, ladies and gentlemen, it is not legitimate. And also, we'd like to say that liking the artist is not liking the art is not liking the artist. So if we like the art, we are not saying that what the artist did was good. We are not saying that we support the artist in its action, and we are not saying that that is true and that is a good action to have in a society. No, ladies and gentlemen. So to answer this question, no, it is not legitimate. Now let's pose the second question. Is it beneficial? So now when we're dealing with this question, when we're saying that art is condemned, we can, the condemning of this art is not selling, is not condemning the artist for its action. Just condemning the art itself does not give the correct punishment to the artist. So what we see is that no tangible benefit comes from limiting this art. And yet again, when we are condemning this art, we are limiting the possibility to raise awareness of this committed act. So no, it is not beneficial. And does it solve the problem? No, ladies and gentlemen. Because that criminal is not sent to jail, and what we're seeing is that this art, that by consuming this art, my opinion is not being swayed. So then, what we see is that these three questions fall for side opposition and show how team proposition could not prove the burden of proof, and now team opposition with its three arguments casted reasonable doubt throughout the whole debate. So that is why we strongly believe that this motion should fall. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, would you please speak, please? At the beginning of this debate, we said that we should articulate our comments on this debate. Firstly, the consequences of this art being widely consumed justifies this choice that people make. Secondly, the position of the artist justifies this. I want to deal with both of those questions and show you why Team Ireland have a more realistic characterization of today's debate, and they will show you why the real harms that come from people choosing to consume this art, especially the most vulnerable group of victims, justifies this decision being made. So on to this first point about the consequences of this art being widely consumed. There was limited engagement on this issue from Team Opposition. Aside from any concerns between the connection of art and artists and how people perceive that, which Team Argentina talk about a lot, we say that Team Ireland were the only team to talk to you about the real practical outcomes that this can have. We received no engagement on the point around victims, how that you often can't come forward, how you were constantly reminded of the thing that was done to you, and how that triggers emotions for you, feelings of grief, which you very often have, and there was no response to any of that. We showed you when continued consumption of this art continues to glamorize this art, continues to increase their influence within society, and makes the perceptions of them far more positive. Because people often have positive views of art. We think that they often translate. We gave you a number of examples: Charles Manson, Woody Allen, and Bill Cosby, which were unresponded to, into positive views of that artist. But what did Team Argentina say with regard to the tangible outcomes? The first is that people have to learn from the mistakes that others have made. We think that that can happen on both sides of the house, because we think that this issue is publicized in the media, and we don't need to consume this art to learn from people's mistakes. We don't need to make that individual decision, which we say is drastically harmful to people emotionally, in order to learn from those mistakes. We gave you that response in the second speech. Then, with regards to the practical outcome of the debate, we talk about awareness. We get that on our side of the house, because we don't consume this art. We choose to condemn it. But they also go through a criminal justice system, which means that there is awareness around that, and they are condemned in that way. The way we make sure we make people aware of the suffering of the victims, of the joys, of the heinous nature of these crimes is recognizing they are immoral, recognizing the harms they create, and therefore not consuming. On this second point of contention in today's debate, the position of artists justifies that. The first point of contention here regarding the action itself, and what both sides specifically thought this proposition. We told you in the first speech that the state wasn't necessarily the actor in today's debate that we were concerned with, because the decision was an individual one which you would make. We think it was an individual one which people certainly should make and should encourage others to make. That was a consistent line, and they misrepresented our view on that issue. In their second speaker speech, they told you that we weren't locking people up. They repeated that in the third and the reply. We told you that we do that as well. This isn't their only point. This isn't their only punishment, rather. So Team Arg conclusively won the debate over who is likely to be making this decision. The next point of contention was, is that art connected to that argument? Team Argentina said no, giving limited analysis as to why this was the case. Team Arg gave you a nuanced characterization of this point. We told you about the emotional nature of art, how you convey emotions through art, and you view them through a particular lens, and you have sympathy for that person, and we feel that you know that person to a much greater extent on your side of things. Because choosing to consume art harms victims and condones the action these artists have made, we're incredibly happy to do this.